It's a new week. We are here with a new deck, and I decided to kind of do the opposite. Well, not really the opposite, but change what I did last week. Last week was kind of an aggro, small guys, kind of overwhelm your opponent build, and this is a good old-fashioned smash your opponents in the face, which is probably my favorite thing to do. Just big creatures, just make them ridiculously strong, and just smack your opponent for 100 damage a turn, and that's what this deck's trying to do. It's a standard Gruul deck, and without further ado, let's. If you wanna just know the cards, I'll make a list in the description. If you don't want to listen to me ramble on for about 20 minutes, but yeah, if you do, then look forward to this. But first things first, first card we are running is Banefire, because Banefire in this deck, we've got quite a bit of ramp, and this helps you finish off your opponent. Basically, this just says kill target opponent. You weaken them down with like early game aggression, then a couple of your bombs, and when they eventually remove them, you draw Banefire, cast it for like 8 or something, and then that's just game. The counter thing is always really nice as well, because counter spells do crop up, and if you cast it for 5, it just means there's really not much you can do apart from instant speed life gain, so always happy to see that. Next we run a card which is a bit weird, but Hellspark Elimental. It's kind of not what you associate with like big green to smash people up, but I've got a couple of early game like aggro cards in here, and it's mostly because they're there to whittle down your opponent, get them to like, I don't know, maybe about 14 to, if you're lucky, like 10 life. Just whittle away to take out maybe like between a quarter of their life, and then just be able to finish them off with one big blow, one big creature, and that's always fun. And this guy basically says early game anyway, this guy says 3 damage twice, which is pretty good, because I mean there's no point, people don't really want to block him because they lose the creature, he goes away anyway, plus he's got trample, so that's why he's in the deck, and we do have a nice little synergy with him going up ahead. But yeah, don't want to run all 3 because he is not the fantastic, like he's not everything you want to be playing on turn 2, but he's pretty good. Another card we're running is a Goblin Rabblemaster. I don't think I've built a red deck yet which doesn't have this guy in, and it's just because he's so valuable. Late game decks, like I said, he's doing pretty much what Hellspark Elemental's doing with the old whittle down your opponent. He helps you compete with aggro decks, and he's pretty good early game. And he's not even too bad late game because you just give a haste token, which can come in handy. And this next card's a bit weird. I'm not 100% sure on it, but I do run 2 Anger of the Gods as it stands at the minute. And my justification for this is that once I've done my damage with my early game creatures, the opponent has to respond to, like, the creatures I've got, the opponent has to respond to. Like if they don't get rid of Rabblemaster, he's gonna win the game by himself, and Hellspark Elemental goes away anyway. So Anger of the Gods is kind of there for when you've done your early game aggression. It's like the shift from early game to late game. So you cast your anger, and then you start casting your big guys, and there's a sudden tempo shift, and it really helps you compete with them other token decks. I don't know, anger is just such a good card. It's really hard to justify not having it in any deck. I really like it in this one because once they've got rid of your small creatures, you just wipe their entire board, and then you're the one with all the bombs. Now I think that's pretty good. Next we are running Ogre Battledriver. This is just pretty much this is also a card potentially, if it says if you've got a bomb in your hand and you play this guy kind of says win game, because +2 and haste is really deadly, plus a lot of my guys later on have trample or some sort of evasion and stuff, so it's pretty powerful, and people really need to remove this guy. I'd say he's one of the 4 drops in this game which really needs removing, along with Talrand. These 2 are really up there with the cards that really need. And there's obviously, if they do have to blow a removal spell on this guy, your late game creatures aren't gonna get removed, which is always good, and that's why it's in the deck. Stormbreath Dragon's in here because it's ridiculous. It's a flying haste protection from white, so it's just really it's pretty much guaranteed to get in for at least 4, and then after that 4 damage is got in, you can monstrous to hit them for more damage. It's just a really powerful bomb, and yeah, not really much to say. It's the best dragon. This next card's in here because it's funny, and I haven't played with this card since like a very long time, like pretty much near the beginning of the game, and it was in pretty much all my red decks because the blood rushes is such no one ever sees it coming, and it's so good with like if you got a flying creature, you got a guy with like this guy with trample. Double strike and trample is probably the most overpowered combination of abilities, along with like first strike and death touch and stuff. But it's just ridiculous. I mean, Just think with this guy with Terra Stomper. You play Terra Stomper, next when you play this, that's an 11/11 double strike trample. That's just ridiculous, and yeah, so that's why he's in the deck, and I'm not afraid to cast him for a body because he is a decent blocker as he does have double strike, and so yeah, he's pretty powerful, but I do like to save him for his ability if I've got the time and luxury to do that. Next we run on to Inferno Titan, and it's really weird because this guy, well actually I was thinking of the next card, this guy isn't weird at all, this is pretty standard. It's Inferno Titan, it's a red late game deck, not really much to say. This guy just, as we were only playing 2 colours, the pump can get pretty out of hand. You can easily have like 5-6 red sources, and that can just get really out of hand, and it's a powerful card, not much to say, it's a mythic. Yeah, this next card, it's an interesting one for me because I really don't understand how this game functions, because I mean, in paper magic, this Warstorm Surge is nuts with like Ogre Battledriver, because you can stack your triggers, so you go, alright, make my guy +2 and then I'll hit you for +2 more, but I don't know how it works, because sometimes it seems to me like it goes, right, now I'll buff your creature, then I'll hit you for the damage, and sometimes it just hits you for the damage and you get, I don't know, it just kind of keeps swapping, and if anyone has any idea that, I'd really appreciate knowledge, because I really don't understand how this game decides to do that. But either way, this guy is pretty still nuts, even if that particular interaction doesn't go off, because I've got so many late game bombs. I mean, Inferno Titan hits for 9 when he hits on the field, and that's just crazy. And yeah, it's Warstorm Surge. I mean, I felt I needed something else which could get damaged by like passively, and this guy is pretty solid on that department, so he's in here. Next we move on to green, where we run 2 Genesis Hydra. If you want to run a 60 card deck, which you should do, but I'll do it for weird reasons, but I run 61, but if you wanted to run 60, cut one of these guys. But either way, this is pretty strong. I mean, you ramp up, so if you cast this guy for like 8 mana, you can get an Inferno Titan, you can get Warstorm Surge, Terra Stompers, Arbor Colossus, stuff like that. And generally try and cast this guy first main as well, because if you grab a Ogre Battledriver, it will give the Genesis Hydra haste, and that's just crazy. And yeah, that's one really good interaction with the Ogre Battledriver. And it's obviously double green isn't really too hard to get in a dual colour deck, so always happy to see them. Next we run Visionary. Visionary is late game green deck. It draws you cards, and it's a nice little blocker early game to help you stall out for angers or to your late game, and it's good. I mean, I guess it's just one of these staple cards which pretty much finds its way in all my green decks, so not much really else to say about that. Next we run on 3 Cultivates. Cultivate is ramp, it helps your mana fix as well, because I mean, mana is decently, if you want to get like an Arbor Colossus out turn 5, it's nice to have Cultivate, because triple green is pretty demanding. We do run a lot of triple green cards, and a couple double red, so I mean, it's mostly here for the ramp, but the mana fixing is also relevant, and that's why it's in the deck. Best ramp and mana fix we have in the game, so we might as well abuse it. Vengevine's here because it can potentially keep coming back. It's 4 damage, haste, so I mean it's pretty much guaranteed to do something on the turn it comes and messes with your opponent's math and stuff like that. It's good both relatively early game and late game. Yeah, again, it's probably the card that gels worse with anger in this deck, but I mean, if you need to anger, then if you need to anger, it's probably worth sacrificing a Vengevine for that anyway, if you know what I mean. Because I mean, Vengevine doesn't necessarily win you a game by itself, but anger the gods can potentially save you from losing. So if you need to anger, it's pretty justified having to sacrifice this Vengevine for that. The exile obviously is just devastating, but we just have to live with that. Next we run 2 Arbor Colossus. This helps us with our flying weakness, and it's just really powerful card. I mean, it's kind of one of the reasons I wanted to just do straight Gruul, because I feel like if you went like Jund mid range and stuff, the triple green is pretty hard to get unless you run a bunch of like mana ramp, and you can't consistently get it out early enough. So I feel it's pretty strong in a standard Gruul deck. The monstrosity is obviously really good. Baneslayers and like Runescar Demons and that are really common these days, so it's a pretty solid removal spell as well, so run both of them. Hunters Prowess is my card draw really in this deck, along with the Elvish Visionaries. Kinda just cast this on preferably a trample guy, but well, actually no, not a trample guy. Preferably an Arbor Colossus is probably the ideal target for this spell. And then don't really want to risk it though when they've got like blue mana open or something like that. So I'll probably not cast it. But if they're tapped out, this just completely lets you regrip your hand, and in any green deck that's pretty much deadly. Yeah, so next we run 2 more bombs and Terra Stomper. This is a card I feel not too many people run considering how crazy it is. 6 mana for an 8/8 trample which can't be countered. It's just good in any situation late game. And I mean with haste and stuff, this guy just goes absolutely crazy. So no complaints about having another reason I wanted to do straight Gruul, the triple green again, but I mean he's later on, so it's not too bad. I really like this guy, so he's in the deck. Finally on creature side we run 2 Pelakka Wurms, because this thing helps us gain life if we've been taking a beat in early game. It draws us a card if it just gets removed, and it's also got the tiny benefit, I mean it's minuscule benefit of being a 7/7 trample for 7, which is decent. I mean it's nothing to yeah, I love this card. This card just has value written all over it, and I think this is why people choose it over Terra Stompers when they go late green, just because it can potentially save you in situations Terra Stomper can't. But in this deck I've got the luxury of running both, and yeah, this guy's also pretty nuts with the old what's it called, the Wreaking Ogre 10/10 double strike. Pretty nuts, and if they do have the removal you draw a card from it, so yeah, I like this guy. He's in the deck, he saves game. Finally we run into removal. Not surprisingly, it's Ground Assault. It's arguably one of the better removal spells in the game, in my opinion. You ramp ahead of people, so generally this just says 2 mana sorcery speed, kill target creature. And yeah, that's really all I've got to say about that. And yeah, that's the cards, and we'll move on to lands now, which is really simple, as we're only running 2 colours. 4 Gruul Guildgates, 11 forests, and 9 mountains, because there's triple green of the game, and I mean it's not too much of an issue. Like I said, double red's not too hard to get. We run more forest generally just for like Arbor Colossus and stuff. But yeah, that's the deck, and I haven't really play tested with it too much because I've been busy. But I guess we'll go on that adventure together. And if you got any suggestions or comments on cards that you think should be included, cards that you don't think, why they're in my deck and stuff like that, and then let me know. But for that, I'll see you guys tomorrow, and hopefully this deck will get off to a good start. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you then.